Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. You got a question for RLN? Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Oh, now we getting real. Yeah, it's time to get down. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality with yours truly, Global. That's right, I said global. Global Happiness Specialist, Inner Peace Practitioner. I'm throwing in Oracle, teacher, but more importantly, a student. Always learning, always growing, always expanding. It's never ending. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the support. I get so many questions. I love the questions. I love the questions that I'm getting. So thank you for the new listeners, the new followers, and the questions. Woo! Let me just introduce myself, especially for my new people that just found me. And for the other people that already have been listening, if you've heard it a million times, you may have to hear it 1,000,001. When I say self-proclaimed happiness specialist, but the good news is this happiness that I'm talking about is a practice skill. Happiness is a practice skill, and let me be very, very clear. When I say happiness, I'm not talking about something happens and now your energy is shifted, or good fortune and now your energy is shifted. No, when I say happiness is a practice skill, this is about inner peace, inner contentment, where nothing on the external, nothing outside of self can either make you feel high and or low. High or low. It's nothing to do with anything that happens. This happiness is a vibration. It is an energy that never, ever leaves. But when I say it's a practice, and I mean it is an ongoing practice, the more you practice, the better the results. The more you expose the programming, the better the results. Let me just give you my definition of happiness. And we are as different as our fingerprints. We all are as different as our fingerprints. And so this is my definition of happiness. Happiness is the ability to vibrate peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. That means if you don't get that sweepstakes, you won the Pennsylvania sweepstakes for $20 million. It doesn't matter what happens. It is an internal state. It is an internal temperature gauge. It is an internal energy that I'm speaking about. And listen, life happens for me exactly the way it happens for you. I am not immune to life struggles or life challenges, from financial to health to relationship. Well, we'll scratch the relationship thing, because the only reason why I would have a problem with anyone or any kind of relationship is because of my lack of acceptance of them. So when I talk about happiness as a practice skill, the skill is you have all the power. You have the ability to make conscious choices in any specific moment. When you practice being aware, when you practice responding as opposed to reacting. Let me just share with you one of my favorite studies, and, of course, I'm looking for it right now. Why couldn't I find this before the show started? I have it right in front of me, and now I can't find it, but I'm sure I'm going to find it. Oh, yep. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Right in the moment. Reality Spirituality. By the way, which the trademark went through. Thank you again, universe. So Reality Spirituality is trademarked right now. Woohoo! I digress. So the study that I love to, I like to share, and I share it every time, either if I'm talking, teaching, and or doing an online podcast. It's called, and you can Google this, it's called The Most Common Regrets of the Dying. Nope, of course, look at, I have a paper clip right over the title. Let me move the paper clip. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. And I should know that, and I do know that. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. The paper clip was over the 5. The first one is, and this study was done by a hospice nurse who asked her terminally ill patients who had days to live, weeks to live, months to live, what are your 5 biggest regrets? And the topic of today's show is what money cannot buy. If you haven't heard about this study before, do you think one of the 5 most common regrets of the dying is, I wish I had more money, I wish I'd made more money? And this is just on a personal note. One of the reasons why, I've already talked to the universe about this, one of the reasons why, if possible, and I don't ask for money. When I was younger, I tell this story, when I was younger, I wished for 2 things. You know, when you blow out the candles on your birthday cake, I wished for 2 things. And number 1, I wish I'd lived to my potential, whatever that meant, whatever that looked like. I had no idea. I wanted to live to my potential. And the second thing I wish for is I wanted to be happy. Absolutely. Let me be very honest. Of course, the programming, well, I was caught up in the programming too. Money equates, or more money means more happiness. Now, we all know that isn't true. We all know that isn't true, but the programming is so deep. The programming about money and the belief behind money, having it, not having it. How does that feel? Is it even necessary? You know, if you went over to a third world country, people that have to fish to get, you know, they're hunting and or fishing to get food. They don't have supermarkets, hunting and fishing to get food, and you offer them $500. They're looking at you, what am I going to do with that? So it's really my point is to be aware of the programming behind the money. And this is an individual question because we all were programmed differently about our beliefs about money and or the importance of it or the lack of importance of it or the significance of it in an individual's life. I remember, let's see, well, I'm trying to remember I can remember you know what? I can't even believe it. I started talking about the 5 most common regrets of the dying, and I didn't even give you the answers. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Ooh, excuse me. Here we go. Let me just backtrack. Oh, the excitement of sharing is sometimes, gets the better of me. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. Number 1, I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. I wish I would have pursued my dreams and aspirations and not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I didn't work so hard. That goes out to all you workaholics. I wish I didn't work so hard. The third one is I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings and speak my mind. And the last No, that's the third one. And the fourth one is, I have a little asterisk next to this one. I wish I would have stayed in touch with my friends. Well, like you, sometimes we just outgrow these people. Sometimes we just outgrow these people. Nothing wrong with them. Nothing wrong with you. Just outgrew them. And the last most common regret of the dying, and again, these are people terminally ill. What's left other than truth? What's left other than the truth? I wish I would have been happier. I wish I would have been happier. So I'm on this I wish I would have been happier thing right off the gate. This is number one for me. I'm not breathing my last breath and not experiencing as much happiness as I can. And when I say experience happiness, I'm really talking about vibing and being an energy of peace for as long as possible throughout the day. Vibing and being an energy of peace, an energy of contentment, and an energy of satisfaction. You are either vibrating, feeling satisfied in a moment. I'm going to throw in neutral or dissatisfied. But there is a lot. The program in the programming is dissatisfaction. Something's wrong with this moment. I need more from this moment. This moment isn't enough. Or I don't want this moment. Moment, get away from me. Moment, move to another place. I don't want this moment. No, thank you. This moment isn't what I want. This moment isn't what I expected. This moment is not wanted. One of the things that I put on my profiles, my owl profile and I believe my wisdom profile too, and possibly Clubhouse. I don't really remember. I'm not on Clubhouse, not a lot. And the question is the same, which is what's missing. And when I ask that question, what's missing, I'm going to move to a current topic. We've all heard about the Twitch, the dancer who used to work on Ellen's show. He was the DJ on the show. If you haven't heard the story, he committed suicide at 40 years old. Now, the troubling, scratch the troubling, the interesting thing about this whole, the whole shock of suicide, why he committed suicide, well, I don't know. It scratch the question about why. The point is, what's behind the curtain? This man, public figure, seemingly settled, seemingly happy, seemingly joyful, all of that. But the question becomes, what's behind the curtain? And I contend, and I'm not speaking for him or the family, but what I contend is that there is something that is missing. What is missing that causes someone to commit suicide? And I'm not pretending to have any answers, but what I am saying is, so the question, is something missing? And if there is something missing, what is it? And again, if you want to speak with me live, the number here to call in is area code 646-564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. Press the number 1, and then I will let you in. And then also on Wisdom, just ask to join the conversation. Where was I? Oh, so what is behind the curtain? And what is missing? And somebody asked me this week, because I have this thing about the world sells dissatisfaction. It's sold. You don't have enough. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough friends, especially during the holidays. You don't have enough family that you like. You don't have enough. You're not your desired weight. You name it. The world sells dissatisfaction. Be dissatisfied with yourself and with life in this moment. That's the sell. And I'm here to tell you, because someone asked me, well, Rebecca, aren't you selling dissatisfaction when you ask the question, what's missing? That was a great question, though. Aren't you selling dissatisfaction? Well, if somebody asked me what was missing, I would tell them one word. I would give them one word. Nothing. Nothing is missing in this moment. I have everything I need. And listen, if I'm talking for me, I'm not talking for you. But if it's if it's happening to me, guess what? Same applies to you. What's missing in this moment? Absolutely nothing. I don't need any more money. I don't need any more friends. I don't need any more clients. I don't need any more time. I don't need anything that I don't already have. I am already being served. And that vibration and that energy and that belief and that strong belief is a practice over decades. I got my hand up. This didn't happen for me, to me, overnight. I mean, for decades, I'm thinking, well, I need to find my purpose, or I need to have $5 million, or I need to have New York Times bestselling, and I'm not poo-pooing any of that. But this topic today, we're going to get into it right now. The topic today is about what money cannot buy. What money cannot buy. And the programming is, what is it? How to make more money. Make more money. And so the question becomes, and you can answer this. I can't answer it for you. But the question becomes, what is this program that the focus is on money, and the focus is not on personal growth, spiritual growth. Let me just back up a little bit. And the program is really the cause of the suffering. So pain is physical. Suffering is mental. Suffering is due to believing those thoughts, those thoughts from the ego, critical mind, lower consciousness, whatever you want to call it, those kind of thoughts. So suffering is due to believing those thoughts and or not trusting, not surrendering, not believing the truth which is in every moment, not seeing past the programming. And the truth is in every moment. If I'm being served in every moment, guess what? That means you are too. If I'm being served in every moment, guess what? That means you are too. Okay, hold on. I have someone that wants to. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on a second. Let me just share a little bit before I bring someone on to comment and or question. The question comes, why doesn't money equate to happiness? Why doesn't money equate to happiness? And the other thing that I get with money is money can buy freedom. You have a freedom of a schedule. You have freedom to travel. You have freedom to buy whatever the heck you want to buy. Yeah, money can do all of that. However, hold on, I'm trying to find, of course, one of these days I'm going to get organized. Of course, money is not going to help you with insecurity. Money isn't going to help you with worrying. Money isn't going to help you with comparing. Money isn't going to really help with you having expectations or getting embarrassed or taking anything personally or living in fear or being afraid or being critical of yourself or others or sharing bad news or having attachments or living in the past or living in the future. Money isn't going to help you with any of that. And all those things that I mentioned, when you eliminate all of that, when you start beginning to eliminate these programmed behaviors, which are noticing what other people are doing, taking anything seriously, thinking anything is important, having expectations, attachments, having judgments, having preferences. Money isn't going to help you with that. And well, yes, if I raised my hand, if somebody said to me, or I just won $50 million right now, I'll tell you, and I I got both hands up. I got both hands up because this is the truth. How do I say this? Well, that's to say it. How do I express it? And I've been watching myself for the last few years and watching this letting go of this belief about money and the importance of money in my own life. And whether I get a windfall of $100,000, or let's scratch $100,000, $5 million, or whether I lose $5 million, or now I'm really going off into the weeds. Whether I have $100,000 or I lose $100,000, the internal needle is not going to go up or down. And that's what I'm talking about as far as the energy or the importance of money or having it. And I realize that money is energy is shared, all of that. I get it. Why would I want more money? So I could give more away. That's it. That's it. I have everything I need in this moment. There is nothing that I don't need. It's correct. There is nothing that I need that I don't have. So I've watched it. I've watched it. I remember I've shared this before. The IRS audit this year. Either I owe money or I don't. And the vibration or the energy that money can make me feel A or B is gone. It's gone. Oh, I used to get excited. Oh, look at that. $5,000. Didn't know where it was coming from. Oh, look at this. Look what happened. No. I'm not going to get excited over having or not having money. But what I will get excited over is how the programming that money is important to my is gone, has been eliminated. Let me go to this first caller. Let's see. First, I have to do this speaker. One of these days, I'll have a whole crew. Area code 780. You are live. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. What is your question or comment?
Hey, Rebecca. It's Jay calling from Canada. How's it going?
Hey. Hi, Jay.
This is how things going?
Everything's going good. Everything's going good, as usual.
as usual.
Even though that's a program question, but keep going.
Yeah, everything's great, right? Everything's all fine, everything's okay, right? That's a program's question.
How's your weekend?
There it is.
How's Monday? What did you do over the weekend? I mean, I get it. I totally. Is there anything else I can help you with? I totally get all of it. And that's my challenge. That's my blessing and that's my curse. But go ahead. I digress. What's up?
Hey, this is a great topic because I think a lot of people are running into money issues regarding just trying to survive right now everywhere in the world. And I think also it really brings up what it cannot buy. And I think I've just thought about this while you're talking. I think it's about the tangible human experience. And what I mean by that is that if we buy something, that experience is only short-lived, okay? But what happens, if we want to be happy, we keep doing stuff or buying stuff to keep us happy. But it replaces our gratitude that we haven't practiced, I feel, in some sort of way. And without that practice, we will, and consistent practice, we will not feel or get ingrained with what is the truth about money, which is just energy, like you said, and what it cannot and what it can and cannot buy a person. I also feel right now that people have a lot of skills, I think, that they don't know about. And if they were to actually take those skills and actually barter them, they'll feel a lot better than actually exchanging services for money. I'm finding that right now that I'm exchanging my services with another person in a bartering that is really fulfilling because it's not about money. It's about what is the equality of the barter exchange, and it's about putting your skills into that barter with another person who's putting their skills into the barter, and it's kind of equal. It equalizes everything, I find. So it's not one-sided. So that's my take on things, what you're talking about.
I love that. I love that you bringing in the whole barter. The whole barter. What you're saying is, what are your gifts? What are my gifts? And let's help each other, or let's assist each other with our individual gifts. The interesting thing about, now listen, I'm not poo-pooing or saying that money is not a good thing, but what I really want to hone in on is how money is it fulfilling? Is it when you say purchase something? I'm just gonna. There is a charge. There is a charge. There is a spark. There is an energy. There's an excitement about, and I'm just using those terms loosely, about purchasing. I mean, I used to shop a lot, and my mother actually was addicted to the QVC and the HSN. I mean, there were trucks coming to the house every single day, more than once. So there is, just like a drug, just like any drug, from drinking, food, there is a charge from shopping and buying, but just like you said, fulfilling. So I like to say there's a difference between junk food and something that's very, very satisfying, deeply satisfying. And the shopping, and all I want to say is just be aware of the differences. And fulfillment is not going to come from how much money is in your bank account. Now, you can believe it or you don't have to believe it, but there's a lot of examples of people that have a lot of money, but there was absolutely zero contentment. Don't make me start listing them. Okay, I will list a few. I mean, from our Will Smith. Let me just use him. He was interviewed. I shared this before. He was interviewed in a GQ mag, and then I'm going to go back to you, Jay. He was interviewed in a GQ magazine. I talked about this before, November 2021. And one of the things, in fact, I have it right here. Oh, I have it right here. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. GQ magazine. That's right, because I tore it out of the magazine. What is it? He explained that he wanted to be one of the biggest movie stars in the world. For somebody like him, let's see, I'm trying to find it exactly. But this is the thing. He said after all of this, after all of his successes from his television show, his movie career, his music career, he said, I wasn't happy. Now, this young man, this man can buy anything that he wants, can travel anywhere in the world he wants. But the happiness level, and so that's what I want to focus on. What is the most important? This, you know what? One of my friends, we were talking about this, and they were saying the highest rate of suicide is in the countries that are the richest. The richest countries, the countries with the most money, with the most commerce, have the highest suicide. I'm not saying anything about it, but the what starts this belief, this need? What starts it? What is the beginning of? Well, I already know the programming, but what is the beginning? And I want to throw this out and see what you think, Jay. See what you think about this, or any other, or anybody else, especially my wisdom people that are listening. It starts with the program of comparing yourself to someone else, comparing yourself to what somebody else looks like, what somebody else has, what somebody else is doing. That comparison will automatically let me just speak for myself, put me in a state of feeling bad about myself. Especially all those years I compared myself to Oprah. Come on, Oprah, she's got, and I say that tongue in cheek, but it was the truth. The comparison, comparing yourself to what someone else has, and really go back. I would like to challenge everybody that's listening to go back and find out or see where did this comparison program start for you. If you can remember, if you can go back, or if you can come up with it. Jay, you want to chime in?
I think we actually do that when you're actually young. I feel when we were with other kids, or when we were even, I don't know about infants, but when we actually had some sort of idea that when we look at another person, why do they have that more than we do? Or, we start asking questions about that, especially when we were, between 4 and 6, I remember doing that. How come this person has this? And it was interesting to look back at that time. So, we did the comparison. Why does this person have this and I don't? Or, I think it started a long time ago when we had those beliefs put into, instilled through our parents, I think.
A long time ago. I mean, now I'm getting chills. A long time ago, I remember not liking my hair. I mean, curly hair. I wanted straight hair. I wanted straight hair. And so what is the solution? We already know that in the comparing, I didn't even realize it was so deep, but it is constant. It is constant. Talk about COVID. It is a virus. It is constant. It is so deep. And so what is the solution? The solution is, of course, not in this generation, but the solution is to, especially raising a child from infant, to let them know that the differences, to share and to teach that differences are not to be compared. I mean, in nature does, animals don't compare themselves to others. So when I say out in nature, look to nature for your answers. Look to nature for the truth. Look to nature. If it's happening in nature, the animals don't compare. And so the thing with the money, did it start with the comparison? Did it start with the programming of I'm comparing myself to others, and now we just keep comparing from clothes you're wearing to the hair color to the toys maybe that you have, all the way now it graduates to money? What are your thoughts on that, Jay?
I think it's about comparison regarding scarcity of things.
Okay.
So it's like I went to it's like when you're kids. Oh, my family's, we're going to Disneyland. You know, we say that to another kid. Well, when we were kids, right? We said, oh, I'm going to Disneyland, for example. Well, what happens is hey, Mom, can we go to Disneyland too? Just for example, right? So it's like keeping up with the Joneses, I guess, right now, if you want to think about that, right?
Yes.
The thing is that
now that you're saying, I was getting chills again, and now that you're saying that, when I said that the highest rate of suicide are the countries that have the most, you know, the wealthiest countries, and the lowest, of course, suicide is the poorest countries. And so if everybody's poor in the country, if nobody has anything, and I'm saying that if no one has anything, meaning there's nothing to compare. If you're poor, the person next to you, your neighbor, is poor too. So it's this comparison, feeling bad about self, happens with these countries that have the most. All I'm saying those are clues. And my point is always this: how do I experience more peace along this journey? When I say happiness is a practice skill, how do I have the energy of peace more often than, in other words, more often, in more moments? And one of them is let go of, number one, be aware, because the awareness is the work. The awareness is the work. The awareness of it, number one. Number two, this is what I do. Hey, universe, how do I let go of comparing myself to others? And let it go. How do I let go of comparing myself to others? And then let that go. And then watch the magic happen. I didn't even realize that this comparing thing was so deep and started so early. Really early. And just what Jay was saying as far as families, I was in a family that, you know, my father was doing well. We weren't rich, but I remember, I hope they're not listening, I remember my cousins, and there were a lot of kids in that family, and there were 6 kids, and in my family there were just 2. And with 6 children, of course you're going to have less money or less finances or less resources. Well, that's not always true, but in this particular family, it was a lot less. I just remember going over their house and just having peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I remember thinking, wow, they're so lucky to have peanut butter and jelly, because I wasn't allowed to have peanut butter and jelly. Maybe it was like having a dessert. So we weren't allowed to have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and there you go, another comparison. And they could have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every single day. So, what do we do about it? What's the solution? The solution is just to be aware, self-aware, and notice, and really do some reflecting. What do you think the solution is, Jay? Can you come up with a solution to let go when you notice this comparing thing? I mean, what would be a practice for you?
Well, for myself, it's like know thyself. That's one step of it. Is I think also take sometimes a traumatic, maybe unfortunately a traumatic trauma to actually bring awareness to actually what brings you fulfillment, about what money is about, and I think we are right now in our place in society, and what is going on with current events is that maybe people are waking up to that. The trauma is actually waking up people to what is important to them. I also feel that you're talking about poorer countries being more happier than I guess countries that are in our Western worlds. That
I didn't say that they were happier. I said that they don't do as much comparing. But keep going.
Well, okay. Well, I was saying there's a sense of community. I think there's a sense of also a struggle to keep going on too. And when we're given all of these things within our Western society that are already here right now, is there a sense of like working for it? Even working for our friends or working for our community, or some challenges that gives a sense of meaning. I just find that there's a big experiment. You may want to look it up. It's the cauldron experiment, about the people who are about a mice experience.
Spell it.
There's a cauldron experiment with mice this doctor did way a long time ago, and what's happening in that experiment is happening to a society right now, and a societal breakdown that's occurring right now. We just don't see it in plain sight. But what I'm getting to the point is that when those challenges are not met, we just get lazy. I think that's one part of it, and complacent, and no empathy for anybody. So we see how technology and values have actually changed since we grew up back in the early 50s, 60s, and 70s, when we didn't have all this stuff too. But when everything we can get is at a touch of a button now, literally, does that mean it's going to give us happiness? And I think not. I think right now is to find your own group where you are at this moment in time, and really start working on a community that brings you more fulfillment than actually just buying it.
The interesting thing about fulfillment, you said that fulfillment, and what I found, let me I'm going to challenge you a little bit, and I love you. I love you, even though I do. I'm going to challenge you on using the word we, and because I can only speak, you hear me say I can only speak for myself, and I'm challenging to use the word we only because using the word I, then that forces, scratch that. It forces me to talk about me and to look in the mirror for me. Because one of the things I know is what works for me may not work for someone else. So I'm just going to challenge, and you don't have to take the challenge. You can keep saying we if you want to. But speaking for self, I don't know. It's just let me just say this. Everyone else outside of the mirror that I put up and look at my reflection, everybody else is the universe's business. I trust that everything is in order. I look at the world, and all I see, scratch that, all I see. All I know is trust that it is in order. I don't see disarray. I see order. When I say that, and I know what's out there, believe me, I'm out there driving, and there's a lot of anger. There's a lot of anger, and I'm not saying that, but what I have found out is that it still comes back to what's inside, what is going on in the person, in their internal, what's going on in the person's internal living space. What's going on in there? Is it turmoil? Is it consumed with thoughts? What is going on? And so getting back to what is contentment in the moment, the fulfillment can change one day I may be fulfilled doing A, B, C, or D, and the next day I may not be. But see, the point is that fulfillment, and what is that anyway? You can feel when you are at peace. Peace is fulfillment. Scratch that. Let me ask this question. Is fulfillment even a program? But there is a, that's a question. I'm throwing it out there. So, because I'm very, very conscious of man-made programs and what they mean, and now I've got to search for fulfillment. My thing was I used to search for purpose. What's my purpose? And when I find my purpose, I'm going to be content. And so the point is really to be aware of, conscious of, is it a programming that I'm looking for? So I just wanted to throw that out, too.
You know, you talked about this before on many of your shows, and about the 5 regrets that you're talking about, that you're just, those are the answers I feel that you're asking. Those are the answers to your question. Those 5 regrets of not, because at the end of the day, it's about working hard. It's about, you know, not phoning friends. I mean, it's those are the answers.
Yeah.
To your questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing, and it didn't mention money. It didn't mention money in it, did it? And those 5.
No, nothing mentioned money. No? But nothing mentioned money. But the carrot out there is a carrot, and all I'm saying is that carrot that's out there, that money carrot. No, fine, do whatever you want to do to get it, fine. But know that it's limiting, because the wealthiest person and the poorest person has nothing to do with how much peace they're going to experience in their life. And then it's up to you to what's more important. What is important? And maybe at a certain stage in your life, having money, making money is. But I'm here to tell you that, because I'm 67 now, I could care less.
Well, you're right about that.
Huh?
You're right about that.
Yes.
I'm going right now, because I'm going like right now. It's like they're on their own path and I'm on mine. I think that's the simplest way to do it, because it doesn't separate about things. It just says that I'm fulfilling my own path, doing my own things. Even though you maybe we talk about how people should do this to be fulfilled and things like that, I think they're on their own path. I think that's what I always go to that right now. It's like they're on their own path. They made these either health decisions in the last couple of years that could do something, or whatever. They're on their own path. So we always have to. Sometimes you always have to be a compassion and pick up the pieces too. This is the hard part, right? It's like, did you know that you made this mistake and it's going to have consequences on your life from now on? Or we can't even say that.
Well, CJ, I don't believe in any mistakes. I don't believe there are any mistakes. I don't believe there are any mistakes in nature, and I don't believe there are mistakes. I get it. The programming says this is a mistake, but a mistake is a judgment. And all judgments subtract from peace. And so I totally get it, and I know why the world uses the word mistake, and I know why the world uses the word should. I get all of that. But in this world, the mistakes, it's still in order. Is there a mistake, or is it just something that happened that now I either learn from it or I don't? I either grow from it or I don't.
But you are responsible for your own actions, and those actions have consequences. Could it be? It may not be a mistake. So that, like I said, it goes back to they're on their own journey of learning this path of life.
Yes, definitely. Anything else you want to say or contribute? I love when you contribute.
No, it's a great topic, because I feel right now it's just like. I think it's about building. If we want to survive what's going on in 2023, you got to build community, and that has nothing to do with money. I don't think it has really nothing to do with money in a way, because if we're in the same boat in some sort of way, then it's about how can we actually use our skills or love to be in a group of people that are on the same mindset. And that's where I'm at right now with my friends. I got about 4 or 5 people who are on the same mindset, who want to decide what's going on. And it's really great to be that way, because we have hardly no arguments, basically. It's all about working together. What can I do? How can I, and bartering is great. So I suggest people do that too. You get more fulfillment.
I love that, Jay. I love that. And let me say this: one of the things you mentioned it, as far as community, it's the same as finding people that are compatible energy with you. But let me also share this: that you never know. I don't care how compatible everybody is. When the sun is shining and there are no arguments and beepity beep, beepity bop, 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 what happens? You only know a person when they're challenged. So it's great when the sun is shining, but what happens when it starts to rain and the storms coming in? And I'm not poo-pooing any of it, but I'm just saying that's when you really know somebody, is when they are challenged. And there are a lot of examples to that, and we've all had them in our lives, and either quote-unquote disappointed by other people because of expectations. But, yeah, I really enjoy watching or letting the universe weed these people out of my life based on, hey, challenge happens, house of cards, breakdown. Next. So just know that.
Yeah, so true.
Yes. Okay, so let me see. We're going to, the other thing I'm just going to put you on mute again. The other thing I want to say about this money, when we talked about where did it start, the constant. My point is very simple. Do what you want to do. Say what you want to say. And just remember and know that having or getting or acquiring money, yes, will solve the problem of food, shelter, clothing, vacations, all of that. We'll solve those. Yeah, definitely money is good for that. And even giving away, I'm going to throw that in too, because one of the reasons, in fact, I'm going to say the only reason right now is if I ask the universe for money, which if the universe gives me money, it's just more money to give away to people that I don't know and people that I know. Strangers and people that I know. It is one of my favorite things to do. It's the programming. You go to a stranger and you hand them $20. You watch their face light up. And I'm gonna say this. I'm not running around here with a lot of money. I am not. But it doesn't matter, but I have said, and I will only give out $20 bills. I don't have a lot, but if I do, when I do, it's only a 20. And for some reason, that feels good to me, and I haven't had anybody not smile about it yet, and I'm talking about decades. So that's just my way of feeling like, yeah, like a baller. I give out a 20. I mean, something of substance. Anyway, I'm just sharing that. I don't even know why I did. Was that an ego thing to do? If that was you coming out ego, how dare you come out when I'm not expecting it? And that's what the ego does, though. All right, so let's recap. Let's recap this thing about money. And anybody on Wisdom that wants to join in the conversation or wants to put their 2 cents in, more money to give away. People are happy suicide. Yes, we talked about that. Why the programming to have it. Why is there programming? Why is there programming to have it? I just looking at my notes. What money cannot buy. Well, we've already talked about it. How about this? Money cannot buy what adds to peace. Oh, and then you ask, Rebecca, what adds to peace? Making peace a priority. Making your energy peaceful a priority. Humbling your ego. Recognizing, knowing when the ego is driving. Self-awareness, being detached from people, from events, from circumstances, from outcomes. Living consciously at all times. Being okay with uncertainty, that's a good one. Being okay with uncertainty. Programming, no, I need to know what's happening. And I need to know what's happening today. I need to know what's going on this afternoon. I need to know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Don't tell anybody. But unless I'm scheduled for a doctor's appointment or I'm going to, flying somewhere or driving somewhere, going on a trip, I do not plan my day or my week. I don't plan. If somebody said, hey, you want to have lunch on Friday and today is Sunday, I would tell them I won't know until Friday. I won't know until Friday. I won't know how I feel. I won't know how I'm going to feel. I won't know until Friday. This living without anything on my to-do list is just all inspiration. It takes a lot of trust, a lot of letting go, a lot of practice of both. And I have to say that at this time, at this stage, using that word, fulfillment, scratch the fulfillment, I'm going to use the word contentment, just feeling content. The practice works. The practice works. All right. I think that's about it for today's show, unless somebody has any other comments. Let's see. So we all know what money can buy, and we all know what money can't buy. So my question to you is, what is more important? What is more important to you? What do you want to experience? Purchasing whatever you want, which is nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it. And it's really about the experience. It's the moment by moment experience. I can't tell you what what should be important to you. I used to, though. I promise you I did. I used to tell you, this should be important to you. I don't use the word should. There are only two words I don't use. I use everything else. Every other word I use. Two words. I don't use the word should, and I don't use the word mistake. Anywho, so there's nothing that I should do. There's only what I'm inspired to do. And the mistakes, I already talked about it. There are no mistakes in this world. There are no mistakes in nature, and I totally get it. The ego wants me to believe that, yes, I made a mistake. The ego wants me to believe that, yes, I made a mistake, but, all right. Well, that's the end of today's show. I want to thank you for listening. Reality Spirituality Radio is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The book that I'm writing now, Program for Unhappiness, hopefully is going to come out within a few months, less than 6 months. How about that? Let me throw that out there. It may stick, it may not stick. You can visit my website at RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington. LinkedIn, my Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You are a physical extension of the universe. You're always changing. You're always growing. You're always evolving. Love is patient, and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself by accepting yourself in every moment. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist, global happiness specialist, Rebecca L. Norrington. Remember, happiness is a practice skill, and I promise you, the more you practice, the more peace you will find. And the more peace you will find, the more experience. If I can only stop mumbling these words. I promise, the more peace you will find, the more you practice. And your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice in every moment. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Wisdom. Signing out.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
Hold on.
It's the newest.
Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. Waiting. You know, and see, that's what happens. Guest waiting. Yay, Noble Ron. Greetings. Hello? I can't hear you. Let me push this. Hello? Why can't I hear you, Noble Ron? Let me make sure all this is right. I have this done. I have this. Hold on. Let me just make sure. Don't go anywhere. Make sure my settings are good. Microphone is not muted. I don't know why I can't hear you. Noble Ron. Darn it. I cannot hear you, Noble Ron. Well, that sucks. I love when people contribute, and especially their perspective. I mean, I'm not pretending to know all of this. I do not pretend to have all the answers, but what I do like to do is share what I practice. I can't hear you, Noble Ron. Are you muted? Oh, well, I'm going to have to end the show, and we're going, because I don't know what else to do. Let's see. No, the volume is 100% up. This is 100% here. This is here. No, that's not there. All right, well, I tried, Noble Ron. I tried. I just can't hear you. Anyway, Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Thank you so much for listening. Remember, we already know this. Happiness is a practice skill, and there's certain things that money just cannot buy.
Yeah. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.